Yo, what is going on, people? Welcome to the Mortal Kombat Spoilerkast. I'm your host, Tony Polanco, and today I'm joined by Miss Dana Abercrombie.
Hola, everyone.
Mr. Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, everybody?
We got Carlos Romero in the house.
Yo, what's going on?
And my first time doing a podcast with my unofficial cousin, Mr. Joey Polanco.
What's up?
I was crazy saying my last name, but with a different beginning. But by the way, I'm only saying Joey once. You're Jose from now on, bro. Just letting you know. Yeah. All right, people. So yeah, we're here to spoil the shit out of Mortal Kombat. We even changed the name of the name Spoilerkast. Got to throw the K in there, you know. We got opinions, bro. We got opinions, but as we usually do with these shows, we're going to give you like a quick minute thoughts, and then we're going to get in depth. Joey, since you're kind of the guest here, we'll start with you. What are your quick thoughts on Mortal Kombat? Let's start on a positive before we all go down.
Okay, so I am one of the few that enjoyed the movie. Now, when I say I enjoyed the movie, I'm not saying it's a great movie. I'm just saying in the bars of video game adaptations, this was fun. It kept me entertained for the time being, and I didn't really expect much from it.
All right.
That's a positive.
Yeah,
So I got my own negatives.
We'll get into there. You know, Dana, quick thoughts on the movie?
I'll say this. It took me 3 times to watch the movie because I kept falling asleep.
Damn. All right, we'll definitely get into that. My quick thoughts. I was like 36 minutes in. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna go on for another hour and a half. Jesus Christ! Like, we'll get into it, but it was worse than. And I was already. By the way, shout out to Adam Vale. He rage quit. So I was like, really? Wow. Okay. So, and then Carlos was telling me his thoughts, and then I was like, oh, this is gonna be bad. So I already lowered my expectation. I saw him like, Jesus Christ. But we'll get more into it. Rich, quick thoughts.
So, very similar to Dana, I started watching this movie on Friday night, fell asleep. So when I woke up yesterday, I went back and I started watching it again. And my initial first impressions, definitely not as good as the original Mortal Kombat movie. I think we'll probably come to that consensus in some degree. But it had a lot of issues. I guess as Jose stated, if you don't have any high expectations, you won't be disappointed, but you probably will still be somewhat disappointed. And I was definitely somewhat disappointed.
All right, Carlos, quick thoughts, bro.
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to the Ghost of Tsushima segment in the beginning. I think was the best part. Other than that, it just kept going downhill, man. And I had low expectations because a friend of mine told me, because he saw it before I did, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not good." Talking about echo chambers, Twitter for me, it's like most of it is positive. So yeah, I felt like I was the one that was off the beaten path. So it's interesting that a lot of people see different reactions. I think it's more mixed than anything. But yeah, for me, this movie, unfortunately, I wanted to like it. It started off fine, and it just kept going downhill and downhill after that. Comparing it to the original one is cheesy, but I still think it's great. This movie just made me want to go rewatch the original.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing is like the original, I call it the most decent video game movie ever. That lets you know my opinion of video game movies in general. I don't think any of them have been good. I think they've all been terrible. Outside of like anime adaptations, those are really good. The live action ones, every single one. By the way, here's one positive thing I'll say about this movie. It's better than Annihilation, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That movie was so bad, I wanted to leave the theater. At least this one kept me entertained, despite its problems. But I don't know. I kind of don't agree with the whole thing. Like if you go in there with low expectations, you'll be fine. Because I went there with low expectations and I was still disappointed, But there's because this thing did other things. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing right now? The thing is, I don't want to go through a whole breakdown of the movie. We'll get onto individual pieces, but yeah, like the movie starts like in the 1600s in Japan and shit. You see Scorpion, it's Scorpion basically, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. You see their little origin going on there, but the movie never tells you why they don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like what's his face? Sub-Zero. I was gonna call him Lee Mubai. Like he rolls up like, I will destroy your clan. I'm like, why are you destroying? You're Chinese. Like, did you come all the way from China just to destroy this random Japanese? Like, is this like a Mortal Kombat lore thing that I'm not understanding?
What's funny about that? It's funny that you mentioned that because it's like 1400 in the middle of Japan.
Yeah,
and he starts speaking English.
Yeah,
and that's the part that got me a little like, okay, where did this come from? We went from Chinese a little bit to Japanese to.
There was one. Yeah, you're right. There was one like line in English. I'm like, wait,
Where
what?
did you learn that?
Like, was English even English at that point? Like, I don't even know. Yeah, weird. So, I mean, it was like the setting was cool and everything, but. And then we got to like the actual story. We introduced to this dude, MMA fighter and shit, fucking loser, but he has the Mortal Kombat sign, right? So we're like, okay, this guy's gonna be important. Jax rolls up, then Sub-Zero's up, and hell breaks loose, and there's your inciting incident and all that other shit, and then just goes on there. We find out Sonya. Oh, there's this Mortal Kombat tournament. Oh, the Earth realms have lost 9 in a row. If Outer World wins the 10th one, they're gonna conquer Earth, but they're cheating and shit. And we go to this monastery. Oh my God. This movie is so bad. I'm trying to control myself right now. I'm just going to say there were literally 3 sets in this entire movie, right? There was that fucking desert that was both the Shaolin Temple and Outer World. Outer World just had like a different color grading on it to make it look a little different. You had Sonya's little hut. You had the fucking fake Johnny Cage's little hut.
Cole's house.
Yeah, it's like Cole. Thank you. That's his name. It's like you knew this movie was bad when you have a fight scene with Goro in a cabin. I'm like, how cheesy is this fucking So Tony, go on, man. I'm talking about this when I'm already getting heated.
That's one of the biggest issues for me. It's the whole setting. It's like the original had its set pieces and it's like kind of like mystical and like a different part of the world.
Yeah.
Here it's like a cabin. It's like a burger stand. It's it's a trailer park, and I'm like, man, like it seems like it's like Jurassic Park where the T-Rex is hitting the 76 sign, and it's like, and it's walking around like a neighborhood, and I'm like, it just doesn't feel right. I don't know. I don't like seeing that Goro fight. Oh my God. I didn't like that setting. It just didn't fit those types of characters, and it just took me out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. It just reminded me of like the 80s movies where like you had this fantastical setting from a franchise, but they throw it into the main world, like Masters of the Universe, like He-Man, the great franchise. It's in the modern Earth. Beastmaster 2, we're suddenly in modern day LA. So seeing Goro in a cabin fighting, I'm like, come on, man.
It's like watching the Never-Ending Story and seeing Atreyu walking through a street in New York saying, "I'm walking over here."
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. Mad corny. And you could tell, like, here's the thing, the powers, their super moves and shit, all those effects were good, right? But I think that's where all the budget went, because like it certainly didn't go to 3D effects for the backgrounds, because they were like, oh, we got to go to the Shaolin Temple. So I'm thinking it's going to be this big ornate temple up in the mountains and shit, buildings everywhere, things flying around, crazy colors. No, it's in a cave. And then Shang Tsung, he hasn't attacked this thing for thousands of years or whatever, and then suddenly he shows up there. And then literally the big climax was the training room, right, where they were training. I'm like, and that training room was like literally like 3 steps away from the dining room in the fucking cave. I'm like, cheesy shit, So that was my main thing. It's like, why is this like? If you weren't going to do this movie right, why bother? Like, and people are talking about we'll talk about the fight choreography. I think that was way overblown. People were like, oh my God, the fighting was good. No. The fighting was like the first fight that you saw in the movie was dope. And then after that, I just went,
the editing. It was the editing that you tried to enjoy it, but there were like 80 different cuts.
I would say, I will, yes.
Go ahead, bro.
I will give that one. The cuts are terrible. So this director, Simon McQuaid, I believe his name is, has never done a movie before. He has done Samsung commercials.
Okay.
So the writer, and this is a fun and sad fact, is the co-writer of Doom.
Oh.
Wonder Woman, 1984.
Wait, Doom with The Rock? Doom
Yes.
with The Rock? Oh,
Yes.
God, no
Doom,
wonder.
1984, and a few other stinkers. So that's why my bar was already low. The cut? There's one scene which I think is literally the scene playing behind me when Cole is talking with Jax and they're about to get in a car and Sub-Zero standing in the middle of the alley. There's one shot where Cole was like looking at Jax and it's like the same cut 4 times, literally the same cut, the same scene, and he looks at him 4 times before he gets in a car, and I'm just like, what did we just like elbow a keyboard? What just happened here? You see like random weird cuts. People are fighting and you see like a foot, and it's like what just like it's so odd. The editing is awful.
Yeah, no, absolutely abysmal. Like it wasn't confusing. It was just like, why are you doing that? Because there's some edits where you literally don't understand what's going on. Like that wasn't the issue here, but it was just kind of weird. But again, it goes back to that low budget feel. Like even think about it, the 1995 movie was a budget ass movie. It didn't feel budget,
So this was 50 mil.
50 mil. Oh, no wonder.
Oh,
50
no wonder. Yeah, no wonder.
But it seems like Warner Brothers knew they were just going to make a profit.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead, Dana.
What people also kind of fail to realize is that this is a 4-film franchise.
Possibly.
If this one tanks, then they're not going to do it. Like a lot of movies they just dumped, but the goal is 4. They signed on for 4 of these.
What I would hopefully like to see is an actual Mortal Kombat tournament, which was missing in the movie.
Yes.
They talk about this tournament the whole movie. You never see the tournament.
So this should have been called Mortal Kombat pregame.
Yeah.
Leading into that.
Yep.
Go ahead, Carlos. Go ahead.
It's it reminded me of the one like it's like a tournament arc. Like I was all excited. There's gonna be a tournament. There's gonna be these fighters pinned against each other. It was like an ambush. Shang Tsung was like, yeah, I've waited thousands of years. We won 9 Mortal Kombats in a row, but somehow I lost my patience. I'm like, I'm just going in for the kill right now because he was confident he was gonna win the Mortal Kombat. It's like, why just not wait and destroy them then? And oh man,
you're right about that. It seems like their fighters aren't as good as ours, so we're gonna win. But then he decides to cheat. I don't get. And by the way, just quick thing, and then I'll let you go, Jose. It's like they literally said, "Oh, we hid her." I hid her. Raiden was saying, "I hid this girl in this monastery because it would be the last place that Shang Tsung would find her." And then Shang Tsung rolls up.
We never see the girl.
No, but you know what I'm saying? The little baby and shit. But I'm like, okay, so he didn't find it, but then magically he finds it now when he couldn't for like hundreds of years or whatever. Go ahead. We'll say, go ahead, bro.
Basically, Samsung was saying like, you can't beat us with our fighters or whatever. But that's why he sent Sub-Zero around to basically take care of these people before the tournament began.
Yeah.
And then it just never began.
Yeah. All right. Let's get a little. Go ahead, bro.
It's just there's gonna be one line. He's like the most overconfident, insecure person I've ever met.
That's a fact right there.
There he is. Oh,
yeah, there he is. Shang Tsung wins.
By the way,
go ahead, bro.
But by the way, I just want to make this quick comment. Shang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat movie absolutely cannot be touched.
Oh,
so
Terry
much
Hagawa? Yeah, man.
So much so they had him in Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right about that. Yeah. All right, let's get a little bit focused here because one of the big controversies is like Johnny Cage is not in this movie. Instead, we got this other dude. We'll talk about Johnny Cage a bit. This dude Cole. So let's talk about him. What you guys think of his story arc and all that other jazz? So Dana, we'll start with you. What do you think of Mr. Cole, the star of the movie?
I was confused the entire time because even when you Mortal Kombat, you expect like the best fighters of the fighters, and to me he just seemed like an underground cheap little MMA fighter who decided that he was bored one day and wanted to start fighting. He didn't even come across as good. Like he was making only $200 a fight. There was like 10 people watching. It was some dusty, crusty place, and it just was not even impressive at all. And him, we don't come to watch this for acting at all, but he just gave me nothing. He just no. I mean, it was like honestly, to me, he was just there to speak, and his fighting skills wasn't anything magical. It was just just basic thrown together. Oh look, I'm ready to fight you. And I had no connection to him, and he was the lead. I felt nothing. It was poorly established.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, it just felt like he wasn't like taking any agency. He was just being pulled along. Like he learns about like Mortal Kombat, and usually, not every movie needs to do this, but usually, you know, a regular person from the regular world is like, "Hey, fuck, I don't want to do any of this shit. I want to just go home with my family." He just says, "Okay, sure, let's go, let's do this fighting for no reason." You know, it's like it would have been good to have some kind of conflict there, but he just kept kind of going along. But then at the same time, he's feeling some type of way that he wasn't as good as the other guys and shit. It's like, I don't know. He was. I didn't understand why. Like, understand the purpose of a character like that is like to introduce the audience to that world, right? Sonya could have been that. She was already trying to figure out what the fuck was going on, right? So you could have had her, maybe Jax, or both of them together. It's like, yo, there's some crazy shit going on here. What? And then as the movie unfolds or whatever, but do this quickly because I agree with. I think we could all agree they should have gotten to the actual Mortal Kombat tournament within the first half an hour. Like, the first movie gives you the goddamn tournament. You know, instead, because that undermined the whole thing. It's like Shang Tsung's just trying to undermine the tournament. Was that the director behind? Like, bro, no. Or was that the fight choreographer? I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, Cole, not feeling that dude at all. What do you think?
There's this thing with video games and Cole, man. You know,
yeah, right. Cole McGrath, right?
Well, the thing, this is a little long-winded. I apologize.
Yeah, go ahead. No, get as long-winded as you're good, man. You're
good. The thing with Cole is I didn't like him as a character. I feel like Kano, the emphasis they put on Kano should have been Cole as the guy that's like, oh, this is stupid, Harry Potter, making these references, making like, what's going on? What are we doing here, etc. But the only difference is I know a few people brought up like why make a new character like Cole and not like you said, Sonya, continue the plot and stuff. In the first movie, at the time, there was only one game.
Yeah.
Now we have a billion and everyone's favorite characters and stuff like that. So if you made it Sonya, if you made it Liu Kang, which Liu Kang is no longer the most popular character in this game.
Yeah.
I feel like many people would have been like, so why are you putting more emphasis on that character and not this character or that character? So to go with a new face, I kind of see why they did that. They just failed at it.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, no, I see what you're saying, but it's not like so much like, oh, give Sonya more emphasis. It's just like if you're trying to do the outsider, trying to figure everything out, I think it would be better to at least ground it with an actual character instead of making up somebody new that doesn't work. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, it could have. I had my problems with Kano, to be honest, but
I love Kano.
Jose, anything else you want to add about Cole? Jose, anything you want to add about Cole?
His powers is trash.
Yeah, I got my jacket, bro. I'm gonna fuck you up now.
His powers is absolute garbage, and the whole, oh yeah, what's that marking? Oh yeah, it's a birthmark. I don't know why his daughter is answering for him. That's cool, or whatever. But it was all cheesy and fell flat. But it felt like they put most of his emphasis on Kano instead of he's just coming along for the ride.
Yeah, you're right. Rich, what do you think, Cole?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what has already been said about Cole. For me, the mystery of the marketing behind this movie was supposed to be this character and the fact that he has this marking. But what does it mean? And then I watch the movie and I find out, well, wow, a lot of fighters have the same marking. So it's not really unique in any way, shape, or form. And I also was expecting bigger payoff when they actually revealed what his power is. To say that he is a descendant of Scorpion, that still doesn't answer the question because he doesn't have the exact same powers as Scorpion. So I thought we were going to get an answer in this movie as far as that, you know, because there's a lot of other fighters he could have been, whether it's Noob, Saibot, or any of the other characters that he could have been. But instead, it's just he, like you guys said, just a character with a coat on, a protective coat with fire, and you know, I guess he all of a sudden now he's real cool with Scorpion. So, but that's it. They could have did a lot more with that.
Yeah, Carlos.
Oh my god! Can I keep it real?
Yeah,
100% real.
Yo, they casted the whitest looking Asian dude I've ever seen in my life, man. Like, how the hell does it like he's supposed to? I thought we were gonna watch the Scorpion like origin story. Like he was gonna be Scorpion. I'm like, oh, that'll be kind of interesting. But it turns out because I've fallen off the Mortal Kombat franchise, so I have no clue who the hell Cole Young is.
Many people.
He was
Cole
made
Young
for
is
this
just
movie.
made for this movie. He's
not in the games. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I was like, so where does he fit in? So I gave him a little bit of benefit of the doubt because I haven't played the recent game, so I'm like, oh, maybe he's in that game. So it's all right as long as the fans like it. So yeah, he just turned out to be this guy that there was nothing really special about him other than he had a birthmark. And his grandfather, or not his grandfather, but his great grandfather was that Hanzo guy. And I mean, I still don't understand how the hell he understood his Japanese. No, there was no indication that he knew Japanese.
What?
I'm like, bro, you've been speaking English this whole fucking movie, and you don't even know anything about your heritage. So you're pretty much just a gentrified American dude right now. So I don't know how the hell you know this shit.
he watches a lot of anime. He learned it that way.
Maybe he does. But I doubt he watches more than me, and I didn't understand that. So yeah, I just wasn't a fan of his character. The dude, I mean, I'll give credit to the dude. That dude fucking worked the hell out, man.
My man was diesel.
Yeah, the dude was brolic as fuck. So shout out to that. But other than that, the fight choreography wasn't that great for him. His powers were kind of lackluster. It kind of looks like the unlimited blade works from Fate's Day. I don't know. I just couldn't really get behind that character. Obviously, he had his family, like his relationship with his daughter was pretty nice. But that was probably the least important part in terms of the whole overall surrounding aspect of what the story is supposed to be in Mortal Kombat. So, not a big fan.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just corny bringing in the family. It's like, oh, and the family's gonna fight Goro now. It's like, bro,
yeah,
really?
Yep.
We're doing this right now, man.
And somehow they freeze, but they survive, and unlike the other ones.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
Love. It's all love.
It's all love, right?
Come on, guys.
Yeah. By the way, skipping ahead. Oh my god, the ending fight scene was literally inside an MMA ring. Are you kidding me? Really? Oh my god. And then it was a Deus Ex Machina too, right? He's getting fucked up by Sub-Zero. Then Scorpion just magically shows up. Oh, I've been in hell, and I will get my revenge on you. All right, bro. Go ahead.
I will say there is one line that I looked around and I was like, okay, I don't think they meant it that way.
Yeah.
But then come out right. I don't know if everyone knows the line I'm talking about.
Oh, which one?
No.
There's a line when multiple people are fighting. Liu Kang is fighting Cabal.
Yeah.
And this is the part where Shang Tsung grabs him and starts Kung Lao. He killed spoiler. He kills
it's a spoiler cast, bro.
I'm sorry. He kills Kung Lao and Cabal, like Liu Kang is looking at him with confusion. And Cabal, in all seriousness, says, yeah, he's gonna suck the life out of his soul. I said,
yep.
What are we doing? And I'm like, what? I'm like, that was a real line. Okay, somebody wrote this and said, approve it. What's that?
Oh my! And then he had to rehearse it. You know what? Go ahead, Rich.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, I'm glad you mentioned that. And then get back to your point, Tony.
Yeah,
I thought Kung Lao was the way they introduced the character was good, but the fact that the character is killed and not avenged at all in the movie, because if you recall in the original Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang's brother dies. He kills Shang Tsung. So so there was no avenging of Kung Lao. He just dies and that's it.
No, but that's not Kung Lao.
In the
Lao
original, it wasn't Kung Lao.
His name is Chao. So Kung Lao is Liu Kang's actual brother.
Kung Lao is just his homeboy,
I know they're not related. I'm just saying I was expecting somebody to get revenge because Shang Tsung, he didn't fight in this movie. He was just working behind the scenes, doing stuff here or there, and then of course,
that's it. A lot of it's kind of funny because the original Mortal Kombat, at least some of the aesthetics, especially Raiden, was inspired by Big Trouble in Little China. And there were so many moments in this movie. I'm like, yeah, this is corny like Big Trouble in China, but that movie's supposed to be corny. That's the difference. That movie was intentionally made to be corny. But I think that's a good segue to So some of these like kind of corny lines that were just thrown in there. Like I understand why they were like, flawless victory, test your might, finish him. I'm like, that's fucking mad corny, man. Like to me, I'm like, yeah, but the thing is, like, to me, I think it would have been better don't say any of that. Just let the actions prove it. It's like, like for example, let's just say Kung Lao fought this chick, right? The flying chick, and he, she never touches him once, right? And then, the audience will be like, the hardcore guys be like, oh, flawless victory, or like, shit like that. Like, I wanted the audience to really like kind of get that instead of the characters going flawless victory. I'm like, fucking corny, Brad. Get out of here with that.
Where it would have worked? That it would have worked if it was in the context of an actual tournament. It's like, all right,
that's what they did. They did that in the first movie.
Yeah, like you could have had an announcer going, "Yeah, flawless victory." You're like, okay, the announcer doing that's cool, but the characters doing it, and then somebody say brutality. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Really? Like, oh my god, I'm surprised somebody did a friendship in this movie. Oh my god. So yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that this movie kind of proves to me. Like, yeah, some of that video game stuff that we think is cool just doesn't work. And
that's kind of why I enjoyed this movie, because it's like, oh, this is all cheesy. It's like if you were to follow the lore of Mortal Kombat today, no one here can tell me thing that stood out.
No, you're 100% right. I agree, but I think, and again, maybe it's just my desire. I would have preferred if they would have tried to play this a little bit more seriously. Take those cheesy things and twist them and make them actually serious. Because again, things that work in a game, even though they are corny, don't really translate well. And that's why this movie doesn't change my mind on video game adaptations. I'm like, I still haven't seen a good one. Again, the first Mortal Kombat is the only decent one. That's just decent. It's not like, oh my god, this is like the the Spider-Man or the Blade or the X-Men. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing that sets everything off. We haven't got none of that yet. So some of those times were corny. Toasty. There you go, Freddie. Let's talk about the because this Mortal Kombat, right? The fight choreography. What we think of the fights in this? There was a lot of fights. I will give the movie that there were a lot of fights. Go ahead, Joey.
I like the special moves. I like the fact that they actually incorporated special moves, mostly with Sub-Zero. So he actually did certain moves throughout the years, especially in the last fight with Scorpion, where he duplicated himself and did. But I was like, all right, it was shot terribly, but I'm like, I'll give you that. Y'all trying some things. I'll give you that. So I like the fan service they did with actual special moves, even though it didn't look great.
Yeah. The one fight, or not fight, but the one thing I liked, because it was this ultra deep cut, right? I think it was Liu Kang fighting Kano, right? He did this sweep 3 times. I'm like, that's Mortal Kombat. That's Mortal Kombat. Remember that sweeping all day, every day, cleaning floors in that game. So that was kind of cool. But like I said, before, I thought the initial fights were really good, but then they just became. Yeah, and it's funny because these movies are rated, but they kind of became tamer as the movie went along. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on here? I'm pretty sure people got killed. That was good. The first movie didn't really do too much of that, but it was good to see. Like when Goro got gutted, I'm like, oh, that's cool. They chopped his arm off and shit. That one, the wing girls, like she got cut in half. That was dope.
Oh, yeah, that was the best. That was one of the best.
That was good. But then, the way Kano died was corny. Corny just stabs him in the eye. By the way, I got to just quickly, that was stupid because every time somebody got their powers, it was kind of a big buildup, like how they got their abilities and shit. Sonya, it was none of that. She kills Kano, she gets the powers all of a sudden,
Yep. Yeah, the only thing that disappoints me there is that when she uses it for the first time and she kills Melina, and she's looking at Cole like, this was a gift from Kano. Cole is in like his armored suit. I'm like, we're not gonna reference this shit. Like, I didn't just buy this. I'm here in a suit. Like, this was a gift from Kano. What's up? Like, all right, nothing. I got it.
Stupid. Carlos, fight choreography.
Yeah, I think some of it was actually kind of decent. I like, the Kung Lao when he killed that one chick. I'm like, that was like one of the few moments in the whole movie. But some of it was good, some of it was bad. The Sub-Zero part I thought was pretty good. Even I thought the Sub-Zero Jax fight was pretty good. But man, it had a lot of cuts. Also, those fights. So kind of, I wish there were more like longer,
shots.
Longer. What do you call it? Yeah, longer shots. So, it's kind of a CG kind of heavy movie. So who knows if that's part of the reason why they can't really do it like that. So I thought it was okay. The choreography wasn't the worst part for me.
Rich, what do you think of the fights?
Honest opinion, I thought the fights were okay. but I believe that they chose the wrong week to release this movie. Because Invincible fight choreography, thumbs up.
Yes.
In the UFC tournament, in the UFC matchups last night,
Yeah,
that was some real fight choreography with fatalities. With people getting
With fatalities.
yeah.
he's right.
Dana, what do you think of the fights?
I thought they were decent. They got tamer. I thought it opened up really well with that, the first 7 minutes with that scene. That was really great. The whole Jax when his arms got ripped off was just downright hilarious to me. You get the Steve Harvey face, and he's like, "No!" So I love that part. I liked the flying girl with the hat, and she got sliced in half. That was the most brutal one, and it stayed. The fact that it didn't cut away, I love that they didn't cut away from that. Kano when he went and grabbed the heart, but it was what was it? It was like a ghost thingy. It was like a monster. It was
reptile. It was
reptile.
It was reptile. But I would have appreciated if it was like something out of that tournament instead of reptile. I mean, to actually see him go in there and fight would have been really great.
It would have been nice to have a tournament period in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, by the way, that reptile fight. Now you brought it up. That was stupid. Cause you could tell it was budget. It's like, most of the time they're fighting nothing.
Yeah.
You know, they're just punching air and shit. You know, that was funny.
They're fighting a flashlight.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, corny.
The final scene with what was it, Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Cole.
Yeah,
I did not like that there was 3 of them. Cole to me was purposeless, just in general in this entire movie.
Nice.
And the whole movie was purposeless.
It would have been fine if he was just like trying to get the girl out and punching some ice, and they would have just focused on Scorpion and Sub-Zero. That would have been fine, but I just did not like Cole being in there. There was no way for it to be a 3-way. So I thought that lessened kind of the impact of that. I think that was not brutal, but it was good. Overall, it was good. Then it was the one with the, Goro with the forearms. I don't like the setting. I didn't like the fact that the girl was involved with the axe. That was kind of corny. I wanted something more in terms of, like, he has 4 arms. Figure it out. Use something. You know, and the fact that you can tear people from limb to limb. We didn't really get that either. It was a lot of people that was just there to be there. Melina, who I thought would have been amazing if you just didn't kill her off. She really didn't even get a chance to shine. What if she got shot through, a fireball, and that was it?
And her spine just stayed there.
Her spine stayed there, and like everything else. And also the fact that they spent time to show, like, look what her mouth can do. Yeah. And I never found out what she can do.
It was just, go ahead. Joey, go ahead, and then you can go.
Well, here's what's funny, because speaking of Melina and that whole group, there is one person in this movie that's so forgettable, no one here brought him up.
The dude with the hammer?
With the hammer, Rico.
Yeah, that dude. This dude.
Rico.
Yeah.
No one brought him up because he was so damn lame.
Yeah, I don't even. Is he from the games? I have no idea who that guy is. Yeah, like what was it? Yeah, it's like Jax slapped. By the way, I thought Jax was going to uppercut him into the pit. You know, but
with the spinal cord.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, he would do that. Carlos, what are you gonna say, bro?
You know, going back to something Dana mentioned with Goro, the way Goro died or fought his last fight in the original movie was cheesy as fuck. Yeah, it's like, you know, Johnny Cage is like, you broke my $1,000 fucking well, he punches him in the nuts and dips, and then he dips, and then he goes to the little opening where there's like this huge ass cliff, but and like that was cheesy as hell. But at least Goro was intimidating. Yes. Like he was destroying dudes like in the tournament, like left and right, and having their souls taken and stuff.
Yeah, he fought
like
that
like
yeah,
he did. Yep, and it was like he was intimidating. And then like in this movie, he just shows up. It's like he opens the door and it's like you're supposed to be intimidated because he's big and he opens the door, and then he fights and then he gets destroyed by this dude, like the weakest dude out of the whole cast. So I mean, man, they just did, and then the setting was another horrible part. It's like he just didn't fit. But yeah.
No, you're right about it, because like in the first movie, he was a big puppet and he was scarier. If you think about it, like a big animatronic puppet you know. But yeah, because in this movie he looked dope. Don't get me wrong, he looked Goro-ish, you know, but
Yeah.
it was just corny. Like, why this dude fighting in a regular world, man? Like, he's supposed to be like an outworld type of guy, or at least in a mystical Earth setting. Not, oh my God. Again, so many missed opportunities. But again, just because it cost $50 million, that's why, you know. I want. Oh, by the way, I want to talk about Jax real quick because I didn't like. Oh, by the way, I was watching. I had to pause it because I was watching this dude. I'm like, I know this motherfucker from somewhere, and it was messing me up. Like, who is this dude? Who is this dude? Who's this dude? I'm like, is that Jimmy Olsen from Supergirl? But I wasn't sure. You know what I'm saying? And I want to be racist, like, oh, all black people look the same. You know, so I was like, let me look this up real quick. Oh shit, it is Jimmy. You know, it threw me off. The fucking facial hair. Facial hair threw me off because on Supergirl he's clean, no facial hair whatsoever. Yeah, there he is. Yeah, it's him. It's the same dude. He had the mustache. He looked dope. Don't get me wrong, but it was throwing me off that I was like, it's just Jimmy Olsen.
He got jacked.
Yeah, Jax got jacked. You know, but that scene where like these monks hiding in a cave had cybernetic technology somehow, and they gave him these little spindly arms and
Wakanda.
shit. Yeah.
They gave him the gear.
Yeah, because you know, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, they adapted wrong, because obviously in the, you know, in the game, like the U.S. government gave him those arms. You know what I'm saying? And Kano, they didn't have his like eye patch thing. That, you know, it was something else. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Jax.
right.
I mean, he looked cool, but it seemed like he was like kind of wasted for most of the movie, and then he shows up, and then he finally gets good at the end. But like, I see what they're trying to do. It's like, you know, the big military dude and shit. He lost his way and shit. He's feeling some type of way. Then he comes back, redemption. But I guess that's like the running theme. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's what they were trying to do, but it just didn't work. You know. Go ahead, Dana. What'd you think of Jax?
I didn't even get that from Jack. I didn't know anyone's backstory. And here's the thing, I don't have an issue with, you know, not knowing the whole backstory or even why there's a tournament or why of all places you want to even take Earth. Earth is, you know, what is meaningless. But, you know, I came in here for just fighting alone, and I didn't even get that with him. You know, he lifted a rock, and that was basically the extent of his...
That was a big rock, though.
That was a big rock. That was
a big rock.
That was a finger.
Yeah.
But like that was all. And then, you know, there were so many memes leading up to this that I just really thought that there would be much more emphasis, especially when they're like, look at the arms. But even if this whole movie itself was supposed to be like an origin story, or we're just getting the team together type of situation, I don't even know why they exist. It just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, you're supposed to wait for the Snyder cut.
You make fun of Snyder, but I tell you this, he probably would have done a better job at creating this whole world, because this was lackluster.
Yeah, but say what you will about that Snyder cut. Those fights were intense.
Yeah,
you know, those
fights and everything else.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
What?
Yeah, you may go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, let's talk about Snyder.
Yeah. Okay. And the reason I bring up Jax is because I want to lead to one of the kind of more interesting changes they made to this. Like, when you get this mark, you get powers, right? That was not. I don't think the recent games threw that in there, because I played Mortal Kombat 10, 11. Like, that's not in there.
Yeah.
So that was. I want to get you guys' thoughts on that, because I thought, like, in some instances, I get it. Like, for Liu Kang, like, okay, it draws some mystical, otherworldly powers. But for Jax, like, it made your cyborg arms more cyborgy. I'm like, how does that magic, because it's magic, affect technology? It's like stupid, you know?
Maybe his hands were supposed to already be powerful, but the fact that his arms were gone, so it just transmitted to his whatever metal part.
Wait, Tony, I mean, that should be the least of your worries. You're talking about a dude who had cybernetic arms that just got reinforced. Yeah. Cole got shit out of fucking nowhere.
Oh no, like, that's my. Yeah, no, I'm not saying Jackson was egregious. I'm just saying this whole like inner power thing was dumb all around. That's what I'm saying. Understand? Yeah. With Cole was stupid too. Oh, he gets powers, and all of a sudden he has a fucking sweater and like nunchucks. I'm like, stupid, you know. But but at least I actually know what I will have. No, fuck it. I will say Jack's one is worse because I'm like, shouldn't it come from within you? Like his arm should have grown back or something. Not to like, I don't know, man.
Well, he should have been able to shoot just like Sonya.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't know, man. But I will say this though, it did lead to the only part of the movie that made me like laugh because I thought it was funny. Right, when Kano finally gets his powers. Yeah, there he goes. When he finally gets his powers, he goes to Liu Kang. That's better than fire out of your hands, you fucking pussy. I thought that was hilarious. Because I'm like, that's what I probably would have said, fucking Liu Kang. Liu Kang, that's my dude right there, I kind of would have liked it if the movie was about him because Liu Kang, like Mortal Kombat is supposed to be about Liu Kang, at least in my opinion. But yeah, but anyway, I'll go down the line here. What do you guys think of they had a name for it too, the name of the power or whatever in the movie, like the Arcana or some shit like that.
Arcana or something like that.
Arcana, did I get it right?
I think it was Akana.
Akana?
I believe so.
Oh shit, I got it right the first time. Awesome. So yeah, what do you think of the Akana powers? I'll just go down the line. Joey, you go first.
And
the awakening, like, oh, you must be under stress like a mutant power.
I feel like with that, to get that power, to get the invitation, to get the marking thing, it was a little confusing always even in the games, like how do you get invited to Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
So it's not like Smash Brothers. You don't get an envelope. Like, hey, you're coming to the tournament. So I'm like, okay, this is a cheesy way of doing this. All right, I kind of fall for it. But my biggest highlight of all this was Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
My guy.
All right, fair enough. Carlos, what do you think of the Akana, which is like their chi or chakra or whatever, basically?
Yeah. I mean, there's not really much to say. Like it was like the most simplistic way to, enable it. It's like be under duress or under stress or anger, and then it'll trigger. So it really like they literally didn't have to train to get this. Like Raiden got a coal and is like, you know what, dude, just dip and let's put your family in danger. And let's get your powers. And man, there's really no logic into this thing. It's just one of those, like you said, chi or chakra or something like that. It's or nen, like in Hunter x Hunter, like they just they're going for that trope, and they didn't really take time to develop it, to give lore to it, to explain it. It's just it just comes out when you get angry or under duress.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't understand. Like, Raiden could have literally just like teleported them like 200 feet into the sky. When they're falling, their shit would just activate. You know what I'm saying? They could have just done that. Like, they started doing all this other nonsense.
Yeah.
Dana, what do you think of the that chakra, whatever the fuck?
I loved Kano's because they purposely got him mad.
Yeah,
and the fact that he was already just like cursing out everybody the whole time. And then, when he finally got his powers, he was still, same awful person that he was. But I thought he was the funniest one of how he got it. The Cole situation, it was really weird because he never reacted to the fact that he got powers.
Yeah.
Like, he's transforming and he's just like, oh, okay. And like the entire time, no one even really comments on it. And he's just in like a full bodysuit, which again, we don't know what it is that his powers are. They don't really say much. And also with Jax, that was just corny. That was kind of like a superhero moment thing.
Yeah.
That I thought it was corny. Like, oh, here's a rock you can lift off of her. And it would have been nice and we would have gotten more of like a, like a chemistry or something, like a scene between those two that really established. Well, I mean, we had like a small one that talked about them in the service, but to really show that relationship, because it's just like, oh, you just lifted a rock off this woman. That's it.
Yeah.
Can I
Just real quick, it was just reminding me of Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's like with John Walker and his boys. Like, what's their background? You get a picture. There you go. That's their background.
Yeah.
Literally the same thing in this. Go ahead, Carlos.
Well, and that's another thing that I kind of want to complain about. It's like the whole Sonya Blade. I like Sonya Blade a lot, actually. I like her character. And Jax. It's like they had this, organization composed of two people with a prisoner in a fucking trailer somewhere. It's like I don't know. It gave me like the whole Godzilla versus Kong podcaster vibes. You know, it's like they didn't really seem organized. They didn't know, like they seemed like they knew what the hell they were doing, but they didn't have any means to do it. I don't know. It just, I wish they had like more of a team, or maybe more of a budget.
I was about to say, well, you
I
needed
don't
more of a budget for that, because they could have literally had like an entire troop of people roll up, and try to take these guys out with the superpowers. But yeah, they didn't have enough money. They had to do all this. Look, we've been here for like the last 20 minutes, and everything behind Joey's just been that stupid fucking cave, like the same set, and literally behind there, that thing that's the training ground right there is where they eat. Like, come on, man. But Rich, what do you think about the way they manifested their abilities?
I wasn't a fan of it. I mean, I think like I mentioned earlier, when they talk about it's a birthmark for Cole, okay, I said, okay, fine, that's fine. But to know that every character has it, it's like, and the funny thing about it is Sub-Zero knows where everybody is at and is told to go after them. So why couldn't Raiden just find these people as well and bring them back and let them know, yes, we need to prepare you for a tournament? But instead, we had to go this roundabout way of everyone finding each other, and all of a sudden now they know exactly where to go because Liu Kang is their tour guide and telling them where they have to go. So it's craziness.
Yeah, no, they could have definitely taken them to a different spot. I'm so bothered by that monastery, Oh, go ahead, bro.
So what?
Go ahead, Carlos.
Rich,
go ahead.
Yo, you brought up a good point. Oh, by the way, the mic coming in clear?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think there might be a delay or something. I think
Uh-oh.
my internet might be fucking up. But anyways, Rich mentioned the whole thing about Raiden, teleporting people, right? Yeah. I'm like, why did when they were like in the cut, where everyone's at the monastery thing, why didn't he just teleport them out?
Yeah.
He's not.
What do you mean?
He could have just teleported them out of the monastery instead of like, somewhere safer.
Attacking.
Yeah.
Oh, when they were attacking, and they sent them to the void.
Yeah.
Well, didn't he say he couldn't interfere?
He can't.
Yeah, but he
interfered
anyway. He interfered anyway.
He interfered when he teleported them to fight. To do the one-on-ones.
Mm-hmm. Well, he can't interfere in the tournament. The tournament didn't start yet.
Yeah, so he could have interfered then.
Yeah.
But why was he talking all that bullshit then?
Yeah. So when does the tournament actually start?
That's
next movie, probably when they get Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
Remember, they still have to get. They said they're on a scavenger hunt.
They're on a scavenger hunt for a bigger budget.
Yeah, right. For real. Yeah, because obviously there's a lot of characters to bring in here.
Yeah. So Falcon and Winter Soldier's budget was 150 mil. We need that money.
Imagine that. This movie probably would have been better. Because at least I could have been like this movie was corny, but at least it looks good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay.
Look, they're still in that cave.
Oh.
Anyway, go on, man. What were you saying? I mean, what else? Because there's not really much to say about this movie. This movie's fucking trash, But let's talk about that. Did that seem as egregious to you as it did to me? Because it was like maybe 30 minutes. I'm like, they're just reusing the same sets over and over again. Did that bother anybody else as much as it bothered me? Because that really made the movie just seem so small. Because to me, it's like Mortal Kombat is supposed to be this big, epic, fucking like saga, basically, and then it just felt like small, like a made-for-TV movie, just with better like special effects for the powers. That's about it, So did that bother anybody else as much as it bothered me? Because it was bothering the fuck out of me.
No, I know for me, I was looking at this similar to Deadpool. They didn't put a lot of money into it. They didn't give it a lot. So it was very short and very closed in. It didn't fully bother me because I knew what they were working with.
Yeah. Okay. Dana?
It didn't bother me so much. What bothered me the most was that they didn't do anything. Even storytelling wise, fine. The fight scenes, I think that's what we all really came for. Really, no one goes and say, let me see this award-winning Mortal Kombat with its in-depth dialogue, flawless victories all over the place.
Oscars.
Award-winning.
Award-winning words like fatality. We come for more than that. So for just literally the fight scene. So that is kind of like what I expected. And because we didn't get that throughout the movie, it just made it really just boring. So I really wasn't. I was okay with the location. I don't want them, I don't expect them to start fighting in like the jungles of Australia. But I just wanted something more, and we didn't even get that. So overall, yeah, you can say the location was terrible, but it was. Oh, one quick thing: there was that scene where it was the three of them with Melina and let me see if I can pull it up. This scene here.
Yeah,
This
Cabal and General what's his face.
I wanted to know more about this world. Why couldn't we stay in this world?
Yeah, that would have been
two.
Part two.
Yeah.
I think, again, they didn't have the budget because think about this. This is literally the same background as the monetary, just with a different color grading. That's all it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, that bothered me. I'm like, come on, man. The locations were low budget. That's like a little high. What's going on? Rich, go ahead. What do you think about the obvious, budget on display here when it came to the sets and shit?
Yeah, I did not know prior to us doing this podcast that they only had a $50 million budget. It definitely shows. This could have been like a TV series. It could have been something on YouTube, and there actually is a Mortal Kombat series that was on YouTube.
Way better than this.
Way better. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was good.
That was better.
And that was supposed to be the original director, except when he dropped out. Sorry.
Exactly.
Wow.
And let me just give a quick shout out to Mr. Gary A. Swaby because he is a Melina fan, so I know he will not see this movie now to know that she got killed the way she did. So,
oh man. So Carlos, did the budgetness bother you as much as it bothered me?
Well, maybe not as much as you, but yeah, it did bother me because it felt, locations for me sometimes kind of signal away, like a pace away of the movie, like. It's like one location to another. It's like it shows a little bit of progression. And this one, when they're just on the same spot, not only do they eat, sleep, recover, getting their Kano there, they also fight the enemies there. They also stand off the enemies there. They also, get more of their powers. So they also die there. So it's like it's just this reuse set, and it seems like even like just visually, there's no progression in the story. In the backdrop and the whole outer world, whatever that is, it's like it kind of reminded me a little bit. I brought this earlier before, but the Godzilla versus Kong, like the inner Earth part. Yeah, it's like it seems like there's not much to that world, and even this one is way less so because it's just one like small set. So, obviously they had a small budget, and you can't really knock them for that. But man. It just shows it's not, it doesn't really help the narrative and pace.
Can I just add, if they have to reuse the same set, this is why it goes back to what y'all said before. They should have had a tournament inside some type of facility. Then that's a good excuse for why you're using the same setting.
Well, I think the problem there is like if you were to have a tournament here, you only have about 8 characters here.
Yeah.
All the candidates would be like, where's the other 78? Like, where's everyone else at?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, you're right. Like,
it's too many characters.
It would be too much. Like, because I think it's a good idea to gradually introduce all these characters, but at the same time, you can't have a movie centered around a tournament and not have a tournament. So what do you do here? You know what I'm saying? So
they should have. The easiest way to say that is just they could have said the upcoming tournament. And then that way, here we get the guys, working together and trying to figure out their powers. And then the next movie, we have a tournament.
Well, but again, you could have. You could have. I mean, obviously, I don't know about budgets or anything. You could have fixed all that with a budget. If the movie actually had $150 million and shit, they could have had 20 guys in there, and like 15 of them were killed. Like within the movie, that would have been dope as fuck. But obviously they couldn't do that. They had to work within their restraints. But look at this shit. It's the same fucking set. I'm sorry, that just bugs the hell out of me. Because Mortal Kombat is supposed to be bigger. And the thing is, Joey, I understand what you're saying with Deadpool, but Deadpool's supposed to be a low-key kind of character. He's not supposed to be going all over the place, all these traits. But Mortal Kombat Outworld itself has so many different biomes and diversity of like life and all shit. Like, oh my God, it would have been so dope to see that. Even Earth, you could have had some dope shit, but no,
for sure. But then it comes to the argument of like, this series has been going on for decades.
Yeah.
And there's 18-year-olds and stuff like that don't know a damn thing about this. You can't introduce all that here.
No. But at least give a semblance of the vastness of the world. Give us a little something. If you're trying to make this into a franchise, show us the tip of the iceberg, right? And then you gradually start showing more of it. But it just seemed like you didn't even get the tip. It was just like, where's the iceberg at? You know,
whoa.
You kind of see like the shadow of it underneath the surface, but it's barely there. Like, come on, man. Corny fucking shit. This is gonna sound really fucked up. I don't care. It's like, if you didn't have the budget to make this movie, don't make it. That's I know they probably had to because of contracts and all this other shit. I get it, but like, don't make it unless you have budget. And if the Rona is what stopped you from making a movie, wait until shit gets better, then do it right. This is bad, man. This is bad.
What's weird about that is that James Wan, director from Aquaman and
Fast and Furious,
Furious 7 and a few of them, Conjuring. No,
yeah,
a few of them. He was set to executive produce this, and then he left halfway through. But the director at first didn't want to do this.
Wow.
And then he kind of changed his mind afterwards. But at first, he actually declined this.
Jesus. Well, that tells you a lot.
He wired in the cash and he changed his mind.
Yeah. All right. I want to.
Yeah. They're like, all right.
Yeah. All right. I want to start wrapping this up. So any thoughts you guys want to throw in here before? Because I want to end this off with like, what do we hope to see in the next one, if there's a next one? Because everybody wants that. So any final thoughts you guys want to throw at me?
Yeah. I think this movie would have been better suited as a origin story of maybe a single or 2 or 3 characters instead of fighting against Shang Tsung, fighting against, maybe we could have gotten the Sub-Zero thing in the beginning and then just never heard from him again until the next movie. And then maybe like the ending of this movie could have been the death of Kung Lao, and that would have been like the crux to like go into the next movie, and the next movie is the actual tournament. And then we would have been, okay, so these guys are getting their powers. We know who they are. We know their motivations. And the tournament is going to be, the tournament where we fight all the badass characters and stuff. I think it would have been better suited for that, and also would have been better suited for the budget if this would have been better movie. And who knows what the numbers would do, and also with the Rona kind of still here, but I mean it would have been better filming situation in the future instead of how it was back then when you can't have that many people in the same set. So yeah, I came into this movie wanting to love it. I love, as cheesy as the original one is, I love that movie. I mean, obviously I watched it when I was a little kid, so nostalgia plays a big part in it. So I wanted to like this movie. I a lot of I hate a lot of video game movies. I think Sonic was better. Detective Pikachu was better. Like a lot of the most recent ones. Well, I haven't seen that one, so I don't know. So a lot of the more recent video game movies adaptations, I think, have been done better than this one. So it's unfortunate, but a lot of people are actually liking it. So good for them, I guess.
Yeah, that's one thing I do want to bring up. It's like, obviously, it is my opinion, and it, like, I posted about this. I said this movie was awful. I said the movie's fucking awful, and like I would say about 65% of the people, which is like a third, 2/3, they were disagreeing with me. Like, no, this movie is great, Tony. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's fine, Although it's by the way, this is a little bit off topic, but I always just find it very interesting when, like, I see somebody's opinion that I don't agree with. I'm like, that's cool. But when I give an opinion somebody doesn't agree with, I'm like, just opinions. Chill out. Your opinion doesn't affect me. Why the fuck should mine affect yours, bro? So I do want to say that's like, don't get it. If you like this movie and I don't agree with it, don't get insulted by that. It's okay. It's okay. You're gonna be okay, man. I'll give you a hug, so it'll be all right. My quick final thoughts is that movie could have been a lot better. It was almost there, man. There was hints of it could have been good because visually it looks good. The characters look the way they're supposed to. The powers look cool, but the problems with the script was ruining it. The budgetness, the lack of ambition. It's like, could have been better, man. And I'm saying this as a Mortal Kombat fan. I played the first Mortal Kombat 1991 in the arcades, bruh. You know, I wanted to shout out to Yellowstone Lanes, you know, over here in Whitestone and shit. The first time I played that, man, it was a bowling trip. I was like, fuck the bowling. I want to see what this game is. Like, I see realistic dudes killing each other. I was hooked. And I remember back in the day when Mortal Kombat was coming out for Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo. Remember the commercials? Mortal Kombat! Like, that shit was hype as fuck. So I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan. Like, obviously, I kind of fell off the franchise after the third one, but I came back with 10, I believe it was. It was just called Mortal Kombat. I'm like, okay, this is dope. So I'm not shitting on this because I hate Mortal Kombat. I love Mortal Kombat. But that's why I'm so disappointed in this. Like, you could have, because you saw the trailer. I'm like, oh shit, I think they're gonna do it. I think this is it. You know, not only for Mortal Kombat, but like video game movies as a whole. And this just set us back like 5 years, I believe. Because you're right, we were on a good trajectory, I felt. But Detective Pikachu, Dana, we saw it together, right? And I told you, I'm like, hey, this movie is actually decent 2/3 of the way through, and then the final act just ruined the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you know. I didn't see the Sonic movie, but I understand people really like that.
It's so good. Watch the Sonic.
Yeah, till this day, the best video game movie isn't based on a video game. It's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. That's still the best video game movie, you know.
Wait, no, you cried during Tomb Raider.
No, I cried for a different reason. Oh my god, that was not good. That was anyway. So yeah, movie could have been better, but whatever. Anyway, final thoughts, guys. Rich, final thoughts.
We'll go to
go to Joey, man.
So my final thoughts with this, like, this is to me the most average movie, and like coming from a huge family that is a big fan of Mortal Kombat, me and my brothers, every time a new one comes out, he's been beating my ass since I was 5. But now, so like I have a nephew now that's my age when I saw the first movie. We saw this one together, but before we saw this one, we saw the original. He couldn't finish it because for him, it's not the same. We had a fun time watching this. He doesn't know any of these characters. We just got in, turn off your brain, and I was like, it is what it is. I'm not gonna make him write a paper on the lore, but I'm like, all right, cool. If this is his introduction to it, he's enjoying it. All right, that works for me. So me and him had a good time watching it.
Oh, that's good. But I want to interject real quick on that because it's kind of interesting. Because speaking about nephews, right? I remember me and my nephew, like my oldest nephew now, we used to play Mortal Kombat a lot when he was growing up. He loves the game. He loves Mortal Kombat way more than I do. He's played loves the franchise, right? Even last time I saw him, which was about 2 years ago, I was reviewing the whatever the latest Mortal Kombat game is. I think it's 11. Yeah. And we were both playing and having fun and shit. Even it's like, yo, Tony, I saw Mortal Kombat. That shit was whack. You know, and he's 21. You know, so
my nephew's 7.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a difference here. All right. Dana, final thoughts.
It was bored. It was bad. I mean, if I'm falling asleep every time, and I have to keep rewatching it, and I'm rewatching the same scenes, and I keep falling asleep, it was not good. I think that I would have been upset if I saw this in the theater because it didn't even feel like a big, like when we was watching Godzilla versus Kong, that felt like a theater movie.
Yes.
That felt like something we have to go see in the theater. Fast 9, we have to go see this in the theater. If I would have saw this in the theater, I would have been fighting everybody and just creating my own tournament because it wasn't even a theater movie.
No, I agree, and I need to jump in real quick because that's a great point. Because we saw Godzilla vs. Kong. I love the movie, but I'm like, I felt it was diminished because I wasn't in a theater. Like if I would have been in a theater, if I would have seen this in a theater, I would not have changed my mind. I'd be like, yeah, this is still corny.
I would have been angry.
Yeah, I would have been angry. I mean, the only good thing about it would have been me and you shitting on this movie right afterwards.
But the crazy thing is, I've seen like some of the actors of this movie and stuff. They're posting like videos going into a theater and stuff. Yeah. And each time the characters pop up, like the crowd is going nuts. And
that's good. I hope people enjoy this movie.
I do. But just overall, the look, the feel. It just did not like some of the fight scenes was just not like that big, like for example when we saw what was it Endgame in the theater and when he picked up the hammer and everybody lost it. There wasn't I lost it moment for this movie at all. Even when you're introducing characters that have such rich lore, and then you have Scorpion and everyone else, and then the guy I forgot his name, but dude just randomly dies. His soul is sucked. And I didn't even I didn't feel anything for that. I was like, oh, well.
I felt a
So-
little bit there. That's my homie right there. That's my homie.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit crushing. But you're right about this. Like you're seeing moves from this game, and generally, Dane, I'm going to quote you. I felt nothing.
Oh, nothing. There you go.
One thing I did say that did disappoint me is that Ed Boon did not say "get over here."
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah,
Well,
you're right about
I'm
that.
just
It-
like,
it's-
Yeah.
You know
Yo,
what?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's very funny you mentioned that because Ed Boon was not endorsing this movie at all. And then the other day, because Mortal Kombat 11 won a Dice Awards for best fighting game.
and he did.
Then he said, "Oh yeah, this is a great week for Mortal Kombat. The movie's out also." But before that, he wasn't endorsing this movie.
Yeah.
That's why I said, "Okay, well, that's very interesting."
Well, yeah, I think you know why. He had to say that,
Don
Bro,
Travolta is
yeah,
good.
go ahead, bro. Yeah, I was just I need to throw this in there. And Joey, I don't know if you know this, man, because I just found this out like not last year. The
I know
year
what you're
before.
gonna say.
Ed Boon is Dominican, bro.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know.
When I found that out, I called like 3 people.
Yeah, I was like, hold on. And then come to find out, Carlos John Tobias, the other guy who made Mortal Kombat, he's Mexican. I'm like, oh wait, so you're trying to tell me one of the illest games of all time is made by Hispanics? Yeah, John Tobias. I didn't know that. Joey,
Damn.
that was my face. So I was like, wait, what? That shit is crazy.
But yeah, just overall.
By the way, I wish I would have known that before I met these motherfuckers. I met both of them in real life. I had no idea. I cracked Ed Boon up though when I told my Mortal Kombat story. I was like, man, fuck bowling. I wanted to play your game.
I'm sorry, David.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just overall, it just was not a good movie, and also just I don't know what's going on with Warner Brothers, but just in general, aside from like Godzilla versus Kong, their string of movies are just really bad. Which also doesn't serve well for HBO Max. They only got 2.7 million subscribers. Because
you're right, Wonder Woman, trash. Kong versus Godzilla was good, but
Snyder Cut.
No one watched the Snyder Cut. No one watched the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, and then this movie.
Then you kind of had Tom and Jerry, which was like, ooh. And then you had Little Fires Everywhere, and that was terrible.
Yo, I don't know about Dune now.
Oh, the little.
That's the Dune movie.
The little things.
The little things. Sorry,
that was trash.
The one with Denzel and Jared Leto.
Yeah, that was a disappointing movie. Yes.
Okay.
Judas and the Black Priest was like the Black Messiah. Yeah. Judas and the Black Messiah was like, was that a Warner Brothers? Was that on HBO Max?
That was HBO Max.
Yeah, then that was like the only thing. You have you have 2 movies. You have King Kong and you have Judas and the Black Messiah.
Yeah.
And then you're
Snyder
also
Cut.
and you're offering $15 for a service that's like you're really great creating these terrible movies.
You got the Snyder Cut. You got the Justice's Gray edition. You're gonna get the Justice's Black edition. You're gonna get the Justice's Blue edition.
I want the Justice's Good edition. How about that?
Just for clarification, Dune is gonna be good because it's directed by Denis Villeneuve. That motherfucker is the truth.
That's my guy.
Carlos, I hope you say the but. There's a but to that.
Uh-oh.
There's no but.
It's only half the book, and they don't even know if they're gonna make a second one.
Oh, okay.
Carlos just earned points for that statement he just said because that's my favorite director currently.
Yeah, there you go.
He's up there. My favorite is still oh goddamn, I'm blanking on his name now. Batman and Inception and
Nolan.
Christopher Nolan. Yeah.
But it'll come in May. We're getting Tenet in May first.
Oh, Tenet.
May first on HBO Max.
Oh, okay. I can rewatch it.
Love Tenet. I watched that last year.
Yeah, Tenet was fucking.
Tenet
why
was
did Raiden have to have such a thick accent?
funny thing there. My older brother's a diehard Raiden fan. That's
Raiden.
When he saw this guy, he was like, "Who is that?" He's like, "Nah, that is like a cosplayer. Who's this man right here?"
Yeah, that dude. Was not convincing. Christopher Lambert looked more like Raiden. He's a white guy. Again, I just need to point this out again for the people. We have been doing this podcast for an hour and 8 minutes, and that set has not changed behind Joey.
So technically, the movie's about to end.
Yeah.
So another clarification point. The 2.7 million subscribers is the growth. Like that's how much they earned in the past couple of months. So they have a total of 44.2 million domestic subscribers. So US, I don't know if it's North America or US, and 64 million worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not Disney level, nowhere near Netflix level, but it's gaining traction.
But if you consider from when Wonder Woman came out, was what really kicked this off,
Yeah.
to now. That's a sad growth.
Sure, yeah. Now you're right.
Wonder Woman was trash. 1984 was garbage.
Yeah, that was bad.
I don't like saying movies are, I don't like saying movies are pure trash, but that movie was pure.
I do. I'll say it. I'll say it for you.
You know, we've been saying it this whole episode. So,
yeah.
Anyways, you know, the movie, I want, you know, we all play video games. We all love video games. It's like we wanted this movie to be great. You know, it's there's this stink on video game movies, and you know, and you know, you can't blame the people who stink on them because you know we do it too. They haven't been good, and we want them to be good. We want this to be good. So even if we don't like it, we're happy that there's people that do enjoy this.
Yeah. For them.
And hopefully there's more people and more bigger directors and more capable and bigger budgets going towards video game adaptations for, you know, franchises and IPs that we love. So hopefully, you know, that this can, you know, grow into something better. And Kano is the worst part of the fucking movie. Garbage.
No.
He's a garbage.
No.
Let's go. Let's get it in.
His whole purpose was just to do references. He's like, yo, what is that? A sombrero? You gonna stick it up your ass and learn Spanish? And I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you serious? Are you from you know, Mortal Kombat movie, or what the hell is this, like a South Park episode?
You notice that all the references he said was all Warner Brothers property.
Man, yeah, it's Kano, man.
Sorry.
Kano was like, oh, go ahead.
I want to hear the counter because Carlos, I'm not gonna say he's the worst, but he was fucking terrible. Because all he did was just complain and bitch the whole time. The only time he was good, again, I like that one line, you know, that we called Liu Kang a pussy. I like that. And when he finally turned heel, I'm like, good, because like Kano's a good guy. But that's right. All he was doing was just complaining. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Yeah, and he wasn't even that ill to be talking all that shit. You know, it's like you weren't even that nice, man. You know, Kano in the first one, that piece looked fucking stupid on him, but my man was getting open. You know, my man was doing some shit in that movie. He wasn't doing nothing in this. So Carlos, I'm on your side, man. Fuck him. All right, Dane, I see you shaking your head. Defend Kano.
I'm defending Kano because he was the only part. He was one of the few where I actually paid attention. He was hilarious. He was a terrible person. You wanted to see him die, but he kept the movie alive for me. Like, he was the funniest part of the thing that actually kept it flowing. And I thought that it was, you know, a good thing. The only thing I did not like was the scene. Remember when he ended up working for the other side, and in order for them to break down that what was it, the shield thing, he just had to do a laser eye beam on like a box.
Stupid. Yeah, that was dumb.
That was the stupidest thing ever.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought that, you know, it showed that he was just completely selfish. He didn't care about anything. He thought he was going to get $3 million, which was hilarious, and you know that he just served, you know, commentary for basically people watching it saying, hey, this sucks. And it did.
Oh, I can't. By the way, we're watching his little final fight there with Sonya. All right. Go ahead.
It's, you know, he was bitching the whole movie. He just kept bringing up references upon references upon references.
He was Family Guy.
Yeah, he was, you know, going back to Deadpool, he was trying to do a fourth wall kind of thing. And it just didn't work for me. I man, you know, he wasn't menacing enough. Like, he just transitioned like on the flip of a switch. Like, like, I understand that he's always going to be a bad guy, but you know, what's his name? The guy that convinced him, the dude that
Cabal.
Cabal. Yeah, so like Cabal is like, oh, you know, just come to our side, man, because we'll pay you more.
Yeah, that was it. That's all it took.
That's all it took, and you know, but yeah, man. Just the whole references stuff. I liked how he got his power because he was all pissed off, and you know, they were making fun of him and stuff. That was actually I did like that.
Yeah, that was good.
But you know, just overall, he was bitching in the cabin, in the trailer. He was bitching in the plane. He was bitching in the desert, walking into the thing. He was bitching in the fucking in all of the 5 sets in that one place in the one palace. Yeah, I mean, at least he's consistent, but. Man, that was just too much, man.
I think he'll be back.
Yeah. All right. You know, let's wrap it up. Well, what do we want / expect to see in the next movie? Joey, you go first.
Sub-Zero's my guy. I know he dies here. I know he may return as new Cybot, and his younger brother may take over as Sub-Zero. That's what I'm excited for.
All right. Dana?
We're going to Hollywood now, so there we go. We got out of the cave, so that should be something. We don't know who's
We're going from a cave to a cage.
Yeah, hey, great shit. And that I'll just jump in there. Like that's what I want to see. Besides the obvious fact, I want a bigger budget. Yeah, I want to see. We got to see Johnny Cage, and I guess we're gonna get. I like the fact that at least they showed him kind of, because I was really upset. Like, how are you gonna get Johnny Cage out and replace him with this dumbass Cole? You know, so it's good that at least he's going to be there. And the director said, if we do this second movie, I want Johnny Cage in there because there's a lot of characters. You got to bring Baraka in there. You got to get Katana in there. There's a lot of dudes. Striker, the cyborgs. What's the phrase?
Cyrac,
Sector. All those guys, right? Got to get them. So they could definitely. And the obvious thing I wanted in the second movie, I want a fucking tournament, like an actual legit tournament. Let's get it in. You know, Rich, what do you hope to see in the second film?
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. A better movie, number one.
Yes.
Bigger budget tournament. Yes, make that happen. And more characters. Was that what?
Different director.
Get James Wan, man. Get him in there.
James Wan, yeah.
Oh man, James.
That'd be dope.
They canceled this movie anyway, so what else is he gonna do?
Yeah. Carlos, expectations, desires. What do you want to see in the next film?
Well, my expectations is I'm pretty sure we're gonna get a second movie. I don't know. You know, I was looking at the Rotten Tomatoes score. Critically, it's a 55, which is actually pretty good for a bad movie. Like you know, normally like these types of movies get like in the teens and the 20s. So like 55 is mixed for critical acclaim. It's not bad for a video game movie. The audience score is 87, which is crazy. That's why I'm seeing this, seeing my Twitter feed. That's why I'm thinking that, you know, me, Tony, Dana, and Rich, we're like the only ones like that think like, man, this is not a good movie. But
and Carlos, to be honest, the rest of the Throwdown guys, they agree with us too. It's just Adam said he's like, fuck this shit, I'm done. He couldn't do it.
I'll be the only one.
There you go, man. There you go.
And just to jump in really quick, it did make 22 million, right?
It made 22 million. All right. I guess this goes to show it's like you know, the jaded professionals, right? They don't like this movie. And then the guy who this movie was actually made for, Joey, you know, he loved it. So we could be wrong. That's what I'm saying. I could be wrong about this.
So I will say one thing, despite the faults and him punching ice in a few seconds and all this, I enjoy this better than BVS.
Well, you know, that's not really saying much. You know? But at the same time, BVS had better fights. BVS had better fights, man.
But that's like a current argument that's happening on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I don't know who started it.
Martha, that's why.
Martha started.
Oh man.
Oh God, you know, Carlos, you're gonna be really surprised what I'm gonna say right now.
No. Yeah. if you're gonna say what I don't want you to say, don't say it, man.
No, I'm gonna say something you're gonna be very surprised by.
Wonder?
No, I'd rather watch Batman or Superman than this. I would.
Wow.
Because at least the movie, it was horrible, was terrible, but it didn't hold back, you know, and the action was actually good. This is shorter. It had sets.
This is shorter.
It's shorter, yes, but it's like, it feels like an hour shorter because it's only on one set, you know. It's like, I'm sorry, that really bugs the fuck out of me. It's like, you can have 3 sets in a movie. Jesus.
Like, you know? Batman versus Superman was, you know, it just had
that movie
gave
me cancer, really and I'd rather see that movie. You know,
like I felt like Batman versus Superman was way better directed, way better action, way better sets, way better. You know, it had bigger budget. Obviously,
better acting. The acting in that movie was terrible. It was worse than this piece of crap. You know,
you know, Batman versus Superman. You know, it had its Martha moments. It had its, you know, piss on a jar moments. But you know, this whole movie was a piss on a jar, man. And I'm just glad that you know, people are liking it, because I don't like being, you know, at the begin, you know, at the front lines, you know, shitting on the movie with like a billion people behind me. I'm glad it's getting some love. So hopefully the sequel gets made. It's better. It has a tournament on it. It you know, has more characters that, you know, maybe that we'll actually like. And yeah. But
We're
another
literally
director-
watching Scorpion versus Sub-Zero in an MMA ring right now, bro.
I got something to say about that too.
Go
Yo,
ahead.
his wife and his daughter are frozen, and he's punching them.
He's punching
Yeah,
him
yeah.
while in the middle of the fight. He's
You were
punching him.
saying this.
What? It's not only that he's punching them in the middle of fight, but he's punching them while they're frozen. If he has any chance to fucking revive them, don't punch fucking ice. It'll break. It'll break them. Man.
Yeah.
And your fucking uncle who's Japanese, you suddenly understand. He's got fire and shit. He's coming from hell. Just wait for him to be done. You know, double team that fucking Sub-Zero and then just, you know, thaw them back into life.
Yeah. Oh my god. Anyway, let's wrap this up. So I hope you guys enjoyed our little shit fest here on Mortal Kombat. Let's get some plugs in. Joey, you go first, man. Oh, by the way, thank you for being on. You know what I'm saying? Very cool to do a podcast with you, brother. Where can people find you, man? Plug your stuff.
No problem. On Twitter, _Brooklyn Bear. I don't like the underscore either, but someone has Brooklyn Bear, and I can't take it.
Man, yeah. Listen, man. I try to, I try to get at Tony Polanco, but this motherfucker. Not only is he sitting on, but as soon as I asked him if I could have it, he blocked me. I'm like, bro, really?
Well,
right,
what's funny is the guy that has Brooklyn Bear has not tweeted in like 5 years.
Yeah, yeah. I'm the same deal. I'm like, bro, this was like a couple years ago. We're getting off track, but fuck those type of people. Fuck those type of people. Carlos, man, plugs.
Yeah, make sure to watch Throwdown Show on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. We do a video game podcast every Thursday and Sunday at 10:30 Eastern. So make sure to stay tuned there. Also, we do have a Discord where we discuss anything from Mortal Kombat to Falcon Winter Soldier and video games all on the Discords. So make sure to join there. The links are in our Twitter description.
Good stuff. Richard.
Oh, yes. We had a very fun weekend of podcasts.
Yes.
So I would encourage you to check out, if you haven't seen, check out the Falcon and the Winter Soldier recap we did the other day. That was a lot of fun. Also, Invincible. And I would definitely say you should definitely make it a point to watch that show, especially if you're going to watch this, because, you know, you need to watch something that's actually good, you know,
Easy.
to balance things out.
Easy.
All right. Dana, plugs. Coalition.
The Coalition, we have the interviews, reviews. Right now, we have an interview with everyone's favorite character, Josh Lawson, who plays Kano.
Kano.
He plays Kano. We have an interview with that is on the YouTube right now.
Oh.
It's on that went up. We also have a much extended interview about his career. He was also in Superstore. He plays a comedian. You know, we have that as well. We have Without Remorse coming up. We have Laura London. We have also the Invincible podcast that is we moved it to Fridays now, and we have a lot more interviews just in general coming up. And we do TV, video games, movies. So check us out on thecoalition.com. We're on Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook, and the regular website.
There you go. All right. Like you guys already mentioned, so go check out the Invincible and Falcon Winter Soldier podcast. Are up right now on the Coalition YouTube and the website with a K, Coalition with a K. We're gonna have the season finale of Invincible. That's gonna be a lot of fun, you know. And then as for myself, like Carlos said, follow Throwdown Show. That's Thursday and Sunday nights, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursday is where we cover all the gaming news. Sundays when we answer your questions. If you want to ask us about Mortal Kombat, feel free to. That is gaming related, you know. And then as for myself, check me out on Twitter at Romudeth, ROMUDTH, bio. Links to everything. I'm going to have a preview up of Returnal. I don't know if I'm going to have a review for that. That game is too brutal. I haven't made progress since Thursday. Like, yo, this is crazy. But I'm going to have a very thorough preview of the game. Even it's funny. It's like, it's a preview. I'm like, I've sunk 20 hours into this, but I haven't made it past the second boss yet. That lets you know how crazy this game is. So stay tuned for that. And don't get too offended over my tweets, man. It's all opinions. Man. It's all opinions. You know, so thank you for joining us. So once again, I was your host, Tony Polanco, and today I was joined by Joey Polanco,
Hello.
Dana Abercrombie,
Hello.
Richard Bailey Jr.,
Have a good week, everybody.
and Carlos Romero.
Peace out.
Later, people.
Hey.